that moment in time has come. I'll explain what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to put it on the time lapse because I really need to concentrate on this bit. I'm going to pop my shutter off. I've got a nice pad there now, which is level with this pad. The 6x4 lintels are going to sit sort of to here, and they're going to thread right through the building, so they'll have the full bearing of the thickness of this wall. So they're going to go across. They're going to go where the catnip lintel is straight. These ones are going to be on the kick, because the wall, when you look down it, is like a wiggly worm. There's nothing I can do about that. That's renovations for you. So it's going to look a bit strange when it's on and set, but it's going to be absolutely solid. And then once they're in and set here, this is why I've left this, because I won't lie, these lintels are so heavy. They're really heavy. So I've created myself another platform so I can walk 8 foot that way. I'm just going to get it up here as best as I can, and then get them bedded on. Well, just as I get going, it literally just took the shutter off. It's only been 5 minutes since I just recorded then, and the heavens have just opened up, so we'll just let that pass because it is showing full sun today. But look what happens when it rains. When it rains, these join me inside as well. They all like to come in out of the rain and perch perch on all the old timber in there. A few people have noticed, have said on the comments what we're going to do with that old timber, and I was scrambling about what the position of the staircase in this house, and I think it's going to be here, so that your top step is sort of like just above me here, so you're stepping up into the ridge area in the landing area on the first floor. And I might use them big chunky timbers that came out of the thatch as the balustrade. I might, and the newels, I'll find a way to fabricate them on, form a handrail, clean them all up and everything, and I think we could use that. I'm going to make an archway in the garden into the wilding area that we kept. We never touched that area. I wanted to keep that as sort of a major biodiverse area, and I'll make a big archway out of the logs and use the old connections that they did with the pegs and stuff at the top. So it'll look great, and I'll sort of post fix them into the ground, and you'll have an archway that'll stand for years and years. Well, there they are. that was strenuous. They are in. That's the 2 ends threaded right through the building. So we'll have our, well, I'll set my laser to this point here, and then I'll strike it across. The laser, well, once I've taken all of this wall out here, there's going to be another shutter inside that wall there, and I'll have that the same level as this, and that'll form a perfect pad then for the 3 lintels then that are going to thread across at 8'6". Might need to nip them a bit, but yeah, it was difficult. That was difficult to get them in, but they're in, they're up there, and that'll do. So we'll just leave it alone and let it go. I'm happy with that. That big break helps so much just to get those huge boulders. That concrete is solid. I don't know when it was put on. Years ago. Gabriel, our neighbour, he remembers them putting it on. He can remember this house when the thatch was on. But he's lived there all his life since he was a kid. So it's great to hear the history. We know quite a lot of the history now about the person that lived here and his father, and you still find his initials in the old concrete about. So I'm going to get my laser out and see where I'm up to, because I might do some cuts with the grinder to try and, I don't need to completely take that pad out. And there is a half lap joint on the wall plate there, so I'm just on it. So if we can keep that, I'll be happy with that. I think I can. So this pole here, I can't obviously get my laser pole in position. It is big, but this will do. I bet I've not got a screw. I just need one screw, and no doubt there won't be one in the land. I love this bit of kit. It's helped me so much over the years. But yeah, I've not got one screw, so I'm gonna have to go and get it. Yeah, not a sausage. Can't beat a trusty old school mess tin. Just for getting you out of dodge when you need those odds and sods. I'm not sure we're going to be able to see this, or I'm going to be able to see this in daylight. I usually use this indoors a lot. And I bet the batteries need changing. I think they do. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's been sat for a long time. just about see it. I think because the batteries are pepped, it's not really giving a strong line at all. So I'm going to try again from the inside. There's one of the old ties in from wall plate to wall plate. I just left them in until the pinnacle moment of me taking the roof off. But yeah, I've got some crazy idea. Plus the wind was blowing my post around outside, so the laser was like this. It's no good. Well, that'll do. It's very, very faintly putting a dot, a laser line on the other side, which I can go old school and put a pencil line there, score it with my grinder, and then I know where to form the shutter then. So I've got to the point where I've cut all of that concrete out at the top there. So I'm going to form my shutter now on there. If I just keep picking away at it, we'll have nothing left of the wall. So you have to get to a point, there's plenty of places that the concrete can get into and knit it together. So I'm going to give it a good blow and clean it all up, wet it down and start forming the shutter. It's going to be tricky, this one, because I'm going to have to sort of shape it to the rocks with my jigsaw. But and then anything that's sticking out once this bit comes down, I can just nip off with the grinder. But I've got to get this pad set because I keep just pulling and pulling and pulling, and I'm like, oh. Before I know it, I'm like half a metre deep below me in stone. So,
and this is coming out because this is going to be the doorway to our bedroom on this side, and this side, obviously, where the original doorway was, we're going to close that up.
You studied up.
Studied up because that's better workable space.
Or there might be some lintels in there. I'm not sure. I might put some lintels in so that I have a blockwork pier off, so that I could potentially put a purlin to shoot into the gable end, and that can be the basis for the dormer. But I'll speak more to the engineer about that, because I don't want to be doing works that I don't need to do. It all depends on the weights. But if it needs a purlin, then it's perfect there to do that, and then we'll just stud it up. More lintels.
And we found some really interesting books in the shelf unit here, didn't we?
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
So I will show you those in a second.
A lot of Gaelic ones, and what was the other one?
Well,
the Traveller's Guide to Life and Death.
Yeah, I think that was from World War One when I've researched that. It's interesting. Oh. There's the one that we were talking about. The Traveller's Guide from Death to Life. Sam laughed and said, "There's Toby." Remedy for rum. Really interesting to find these. They're in a bad state, to be fair, so I'm going to have to try and put them somewhere safe so they don't crumble away. But everything we find, we will keep safe as best we can, and probably use them somewhere in the house or on display or something. Whoa,
there it is. The Terminator of shutters. That has took some forming, as you can see, cutting over this and cutting around that and filling here and filling there. It has already got a big load of concrete in the bottom there. But yeah, that's basically, I had to they're just stacked as weight at the back to hold that, and they're brick fixed in, and it's off this and off that. A few props, just got to do whatever you got to do, haven't you? Nice big lump of concrete. It's taking some chipping. Let's keep going at it. So this section of wall here, just this little cheek, it had so many roots in there. There's some at the bottom that were in and they were like chunky. So as you can see from my selection of delights, these are the types of tools I've been using to get them out. Breaker, pliers, you name it, just to get the roots out. But we'll just show you inside. I've just pulled this bit out. Pliers is the only way. I killed it all off with a killer spray, and then, but it just grows back so quick. But under there it was just like, as you can see, just all that. It's just pull it out, pull it out. Whether or not it's going to break through the line pointing, I'm not sure. I've still got to point this bit similar to the centre section and the upper section there. There's still that bit of cheek in the back here, but it took so much work because when we first got here, this was the epicenter of the stuff that was growing. Even that, look, it's still, a lot of it's dead now, but this was just a full bush. Yeah, tricky. But we'll just keep going. But I think the point's come now. I'm going to take the form off the top, let some air get to it, because we're going to leave it over the weekend before I do my placement. So we get some tools. There it is, super pad. Nice big reinforced block, and that goes right into the wall quite a bit, and all the rubble and all the really sharp stones inside, and it goes right deep, like internal to the wall, so it's very much threaded in. You sort of get an idea now of the super pads that I've got to carry those lintels. I'm chuffed with that. Let's have a little meander around. Got the radio on the wall. It's up there. I can't always reach it. I don't know. We're going to get executed copyright reasons. I don't know. But anyway, everyone likes this tune. There's the there it is in all its glory. So we'll give that till next week now, and then I will put the 3 lintels on. With the ring beam, I'm actually going to build the ring beam across the top there to the underside of the wall plate, turn it 90 degrees, and it will go all the way down the wall. So it'll be like one big massive L-shaped structural beam. Well, it's not even structural actually, it's there to form the bed for the wall plate, so it doesn't actually act as structural. I'm going to leave it back sort of 100 to 125 mil from the wall here, because when the trusses come striking through, it allows me then to build up in between, and the soffit will then dress up to that. There is going to be some wiggly worm soffits. I'm just going to walk across this assault course of stones. There is going to be some right wiggly soffits on this job. I already know it. Which character? It's 200-year-old place, over 200 years old, so that back soffit might be straight, but the front, it's got a huge bump in it in the middle, so it is what it is. The roof will look great, but the soffits will be like wiggly worms, but I'm not bothered. On the wall on the other side, where we do have that slight bulge, which have been assured off 2 structural engineers, one of them top of his game on these types of buildings, has assured me that it was, you know, I'm not worried about it. But I am going to build a buttress. I might build 2 buttresses on that wall, And with his design influence, we are going to do maybe a bench. So the big foundation stones that were there, somebody said get a piece of carpet or a sack, put the big stones on, and then I can drag them around because you can't lift them, but at least I can pull them. I'll make two concrete pads on that wall at the bottom, and then I will make this huge buttress feature, and it's going to be, there's no rush for that, probably next year. I'm not in jeopardy of the wall at all, it's going to be fine, but it's going to make a superior feature as well, and it will give that, 20 years time, if that wall ever did move a little bit more, it'd be on the buttresses. But yeah, I'll be quite interested to do that out of the biggest stones I can find, so I'm going to make a proper feature of it. So that's what's happening with the big bobs. But yeah, I'm just going to carry on staying ahead of Rebecca because she's the pointing master. So I'm just going to stay ahead of her, get the mixing ready, get the pointing ready, keep pulling roots out, and enjoy the sunshine. Waiting on this one. Well, not been waiting on it, we ordered it a while ago, so there was no crazy rush. But there's our roof battens. We've got our rafters, 6x2s. We've got all our internal timber there, the 4x2s, and then we have the joists, the 9x3s there. Nice big chunkers. And that's one of our ridge beams, massive. And then we've got two others as well, which will do a fancy, like, whoosh, 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 scarving joint in there, and then it's propped off the internal timber, so chuffed. I wasn't expecting that today. And he sent a telehandler up as well. He's been super helpful, the sawmill man, because imagine handballing all that off. I mean, that took him minutes. Can you imagine handballing every piece of that off? It's same fella that we got when we got all the larch as well. So it's from Super Sawmill. So I'm chuffed now. That's all the timber for the roof, the inside, the battens, the tiles are here, ready to rock. We just need to get these lintels and masonry stuff out the way. But the plan of attack is to get the roof on, at least get the membranes on, batten it, and then get the big guns in. Well, mini guns, but big guns for me. Get them in and take the floor out, dig it down, put all that in. It's 22 ton there. I think it's only 16 ton that we need, I think. Get that in, get the 4-inch insulation in, and then we'll cast a 5-inch concrete slab over the top of that. All our drains and stuff will be incorporated in there somehow. I'm not too sure. I'm going to ask for help when it comes to that one, because I don't know, but I'll cross that bridge when it comes. We're chuffed. All the timber's here.